Bears are often seen as cute and cuddly creatures in movies and TV shows, but in the wild, they can be one of the most terrifying animals to face. And when it comes to grizzly bears, the fear factor is taken to a whole new level. In this video, we'll delve into the horrifying reality of facing a charging grizzly bear through the experience of Jeremy Evans, an outdoor enthusiast who came face to face with a massive grizzly during one fateful hike. Get ready for goosebumps as we recount the heart-pounding experience that left Evans lucky to be alive. In the fall of 2017, Jeremy Evans went hunting in the woods of Canada with the intention of catching a sheep, which is widely considered to be one of the most unremarkable animals in the world. Instead, he narrowly escaped being devoured by one of the most terrifying creatures that can be found in the wild. In the middle of the forest in Alberta, Jeremy was the first one to become aware that he was not alone when he heard the sound of a branch breaking. He turned his attention in the direction of the noise, but by that point, it was already too late. Jeremy had been observed by the mother grizzly bear as she was tending to her cub, and she was already 4 feet away from him with her paw extended in the direction of Jeremy. They were alone, and the bear saw Jeremy as nothing but a threat the entire time they were together. That marked the beginning of the struggle for his life. The encounter with the grizzly bear in the forest was not Jeremy's first one of its kind. Bears were just another potential threat that he had to try his best to avoid as a frequent hunter. The maintenance supervisor had spent the last 17 years trying to catch a ram with horns that form 4/5 of a complete circle on either side of its head. This is a criterion that determines whether or not an animal can be legally hunted in Canada. On August 24th, 2017, he had ridden his bike up to the location where he was hunting, and he was just sitting there, watching some sheep over the handlebars when he saw a little brown thing scurry in front of him. It was a squirrel. Jeremy did not have enough time to grab his bear spray before the first time he saw the full-grown bear, so he could not attempt to scare it away. Instead, he grabbed a bicycle that was in front of him and smashed it towards the beast, causing its head to become entangled in the frame of the bicycle. Jeremy's attempts to strike and scare the bear resulted in his hand being riddled with pretty big holes, but the animal eventually began to back away from him, which was a relief. She managed to get about 30 feet away, while Jeremy also inched backwards, trying to get to safety. However, the bear wasn't done yet. Jeremy was extricated from the tree by the bear after his knee was crunched by the animal. She grabbed him with her teeth, lifted him into the air, and landed on top of him before sinking her teeth into his face. Jeremy's attempts to play dead only resulted in him getting chewed on, so he made another attempt to fight back. He then proceeded to punch the bear in the face, poke his fingers in her eyes, and even succeed in grabbing her tongue as she opened her mouth to take another bite. He had the most success when he grabbed some tender skin below the beast's belly and began to twist it. This caused the beast to squeal and run off into the nearby woods. Jeremy was able to get up and locate his bag, at which point he took a selfie of his injured face and posted it on social media. Jeremy stated that he held on for dear life as the bear started panicking while he made another attempt to grab hold of the tender spot on the bear's flesh. Jeremy let go of her as she started to run, and his mangled body fell to the ground. He was unable to see as a result of the assault, but he was still able to crawl his way back through the woods to retrieve his bag and gun. When he started feeling around on the floor for a clip for the gun, the first things he found were his mustache and goatee, as well as a significant portion of his face and ear, all of which had been completely ripped away by the bear. Jeremy, who was sure he wasn't going to make it out of that place alive, pulled out his phone and started texting his wife. He was sure he was going to die. Even though he did not have service, he wanted to ensure that he had said his farewells to everyone. Jeremy inquired with a question. What do you do when you're all messed up like that? He challenged himself to accomplish only the smallest of tasks, such as reaching the next rock or tree on the path. During the course of his travels, he came across a camp in the woods that he had previously observed to be inhabited each time he went into the forest. Desperate for assistance, he unzipped the 2 tents that were located there, but no one was inside. Jeremy discovered paper and a pen at the scene, and he scrawled a note to the occupants of the place, in which he identified himself and explained what had occurred. Left to continue his journey, it wasn't until approximately 6 hours after his attack that Jeremy made it to a milestone he recognized. 2 rocks on the path that indicated he was approximately 1 mile from his truck. This occurred approximately 6 hours after Jeremy was attacked. He was only able to make out hazy shapes and light due to the damage to his eyes, but he still got to his car and drove 20 kilometers to a lodge in an attempt to get assistance. The entire time, he was looking for the light spot in the middle of the darker spruce trees that he knew lined the road. Jeremy managed to make it to the lodge, where he overheard a child warning their grandma that someone was trying to pull a practical joke on her. However, the adults were able to recognize that he was real, even though he appeared to be a zombie, and the child was unable to. Jeremy was petrified that the people who came to his aid would freak out, so he reassured the people at the lodge that he was fine and they should remain calm while calling an ambulance for him. The realization that Jeremy's injuries were pretty bad came to him after he arrived at the hospital and noticed that the medical staff had begun freaking out. This was despite the fact that Jeremy had been mauled by a bear, so he was aware that his injuries were severe. He told the doctors that his face was all skull and that there was no skin on it before his wife came to see him. They complied with his request and covered his face. Jeremy continued to struggle with mental health issues for a long time, even after he had recovered from some of the physical damage caused by the attack. He suffered from insomnia and flashbacks as a result of post-traumatic stress disorder, and something as simple as emptying an ice tray was enough to transport his mind back to the forest. Jeremy did not experience a significant improvement in his condition until a little over a year ago, when he participated in a session of acceleration resolution therapy, also known as ART. During this type of therapy, the patient reenacts a traumatic experience while simultaneously examining it from a new perspective. Jeremy's condition improved significantly after this session. On that particular evening, for the first time ever since he had returned home from the assault, he had a night of uninterrupted sleep, free of any nightmares. Since then, Jeremy has returned to those same woods, and he has even encountered bears since then. However, thank goodness, he has never been in such close proximity to a bear as he was on that day in 2017. Jeremy was, to put it mildly, pretty nervous the first time he went back into the woods after the accident, which was exactly 1 year after the incident. But eventually he got what we would call a good feeling about being back, knowing that he survived the ordeal and that he had made it out. Jeremy Evans' harrowing experience of facing down the charging grizzly bear without the protection of a gun is an eye-opening reminder that nature can be both beautiful and dangerous. His story illustrates how even experienced outdoorsmen can find themselves in unexpected situations, requiring quick thinking and courage, something that all hikers should keep in mind when heading out into wilderness areas. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.